Hello everyone, James Wilson here. And what I wanted to do, we're getting very close to the election now. This is not a final prediction, but I want to let you guys know what's going on, the polling and everything. And as I said, last election, the polling was off, and so what I decided to do was another one of those videos. I'm going to do an election prediction video based on October's polling differences. Okay, and what I've decided to do on the dates. Okay, on the dates. Let me show you real quick. On the dates here, if the beginning of October was part of the date, okay, then it's going to count as part of the poll. So, for example, if it's September 30th to October 3rd, okay, or September 28th to October 5th, or whatever it is, the poll was conducted, I'm going to include that in my data, okay, and I'm going to include all the way up to October 20th, because today is October 20th. So as long as the date ran from so-and-so day in October until October 20th, I'm going to include it. If it says like October 18th to October 22nd of 2016, I'm not going to include it. It's got to end at or before the 20th. So I did all the polls for October of 2016, from October 1st to October 20th, when Trump went against Hillary Clinton. I did all of those polls, okay? And with Biden against Trump, I actually did all the polls from October 1st to October 20th of this year. And I compared it, and I compared who won the state, if Trump overperformed or underperformed. Okay, and I did some mathematical calculations. So I'll go ahead and start here, and I'll explain to you how I calculated it. And this is based on previous videos I did as well. So in the state of Nevada, in 2016, October of 2016, Clinton had a 3.3% lead. Now Biden has a 4.7%. So the Democrats actually gained 1.4% on the polling. And Clinton won in 2016. She won 2.4%. So since the Democrats overperformed in the polling, I have to take that 1.4% difference and add it to the 2.4% that Clinton got. And at final, it comes to Biden with a 3.8% lead. Okay, so based on that, Biden wins the state. Okay, and that's how I did it. So Arizona's a little bit different. Believe it or not, October of 2016, there was two polls, and Clinton was up by 3.5%. Okay, so October 1st to October 20th of 2016, Clinton had a 3.5% lead. Trump had a 3.5. Trump won it by 3.5%. So that's a 7% swing in favor of Donald Trump. And Joe Biden currently has a 3.6% lead. So that brings it down to 3.4% in favor of Trump. Okay, so Trump is overperforming the 2016 polling, because Clinton was up by 3.5 and Biden is up by 3.6. It's almost like a mirror image. Trump actually won the state by 3.5, so Trump's going to win by 3.4. Okay, that's the logic between us, and I'll do another video on this. I'll do another video before the election. Okay, in the state of Texas, in 2016, Clinton had a 4.7% lead in the polls. Trump won by 9%. And Trump actually is overperforming in the polling. He has a 6% lead. Okay? So you take the difference between 6 and 4.7, he's overperforming by 1.3. You add the 1.3 to the amount that he won by last time, which is 9. So he's actually up by double digits. He's up by 10.3. Okay? That's how I calculate it. In the state of Iowa, okay? Trump, in 2016, he had a 4-point lead over Clinton. Right now, Biden has a 2.5% lead. That's a 6.5% swing in favor of the Democrats. However, Trump won the state by 9.5. So based on this logic, Trump would win by 3. Okay? So now you guys can understand how I do the mathematics. I take the polling differences, and then I either add or subtract depending on who's up and who's down, and then either add or subtract to the 2006 to the final number. In the state of Minnesota, I have no data. Okay, there has been no polling for 2016 for Clinton against Trump, and since Biden is up by 6, I'm just going to go ahead and give it to Biden. But as I said, I don't have any data on that. And so hopefully next time I do a video, I'm going to do a video on Halloween. I'm going to do a video on my final election prediction. I'll also do a video based on the polling differences as well. And typically what I'm going to do is the last 5 polls. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it either the last 5 polls or until the end of the last debate. Okay, so whatever comes last, I should say. So that's kind of how I'm going to do it on the polling differences. So Minnesota, I'm just going to put blue because I have no idea who because there's no polling. In the state of Wisconsin, Clinton had a 7-point lead. Right now, Biden has a 6.3% lead, so Trump gets an extra 0.7%. Added to his win column of 0.7%, and he won in 2016. You add 0.7 and 0.7, that comes to 1.4. Okay, so Trump overperformed. He's overperforming the polls in this state. In the state of Michigan, Clinton had a 10.2% lead. And Biden, his lead has shrunk. The Democrats' lead has shrunk to 7.8. Okay, so when you calculate that, that is a 2.4% difference in favor of Donald Trump because the polls were that off. Trump had a 0.3% lead win, so he's going to win by 2.7. Okay, based on that model, Trump would win the state by 2.7. And this is interesting because I looked at some of the data. I was reading up and listening to some of the other people on it. Red Eagle did a video on it. Republicans or Democrats are pretty much tied as far as the early voting is concerned. There's not much of a difference. Democrats should be leading right now. And so Michigan is looking pretty decent actually, based on the polling differences, because Clinton was up so high. Okay, in the state of Ohio, Trump had a 0.1% lead in 2016. In 2020, he has a 0.2% lead. It is like a mirror image of 2016. So he won this state by 8.1, so he'll win the state by 8.2 based on the polling differences. So Trump wins that state as well. Let's go up to New Hampshire. Clinton had a 6.8% lead. She won the state by 0.3. But Biden has a 10.3% lead. The Democrats' lead has increased by 3.5 percentage points. And Clinton had she won it by 0.3, so that's actually 3.8. So according to the model, Biden would win by 3.8%. Okay, and in the state of Pennsylvania. Clinton had a 7.3% lead in 2016. Now Biden has a 6.1% lead. Okay. So that's a difference of 1.2 in favor of Donald Trump. Donald Trump won the state by 0.7. So that's actually, once you calculate the numbers, that's a 2.1% lead in favor of Donald Trump. So right now, I mean, look at the score now, 246 to 232. It's neck and neck, folks. Okay? And so let's move on. The state of North Carolina. In 2016, Clinton had a 2.6% lead. In 2020, Biden has a 2.5% lead. It's like a mirror image. Trump won the state by 3.7, so Trump would win the state by 3.8. It's the same thing, okay? And in the state of Georgia, it's actually a little bit different. In the state of Georgia, Trump had a 4% lead, okay? Trump won the state by 5.1, so he overperformed by 1.1. And Biden has a 0.7% lead. So that means Trump would win it by the skin of his teeth. He would win it by 0.4%. And and this is interesting because I can tell you one thing, that Georgia's got those mail-in ballots, okay? The mail-in ballots in Atlanta, they're automatically sending people in Atlanta mail-in ballots. Okay, we're not talking about absentee request forms. We're not talking about anything like it. We're talking about actual ballots to over 500,000 people. And Democrats outweighed Republicans 5-1 in that county. It's called Tacoma County. You can look it up. Okay? They're mailing over 500,000 ballots to these people, and they are, and Democrats outweigh Republicans 5-1. And I do predict that there's going to be more voting, because it's so much easier to mail a ballot. Okay? And then you're going to have all these people, doing the ballot harvesting in Atlanta. Okay? Don't put it behind them, folks. I'm telling you what's going on. This state here could go either way. And I might actually put it in the Democratic column on the election. I'm not really sure, though. I'm kind of thinking about it because, as I said, they're mailing out ballots to one of the highest Democratic counties in the nation. I mean, it's like a Staples button. As I said before, click that was easy. So I'm just letting you know, Trump has a 0.4% lead in this state, so I'm going to leave it red. But I would not be surprised if the Democrats won that state. In the state of Florida, Clinton had a 3.1% advantage. Right now, Biden's ahead by 2.7%. So Trump is overperforming by 0.4. Trump won by 1.2. So that gives Trump a 1.6% advantage. So right now, based on the polling differences, this is what the map would look like. Okay? And when you take a look at it, it looks pretty similar to last time, This is the exact map of 2016. Okay? This is exactly what happened right here. Trump had 306 electoral votes. Clinton had 232. Okay? So, let me know what you think about this video. As I said, the polls did change. When it got closer to the election, when Clinton went against Trump, it did swing right. It did swing to the right. Okay? And that could be because of the emails thing. Now the question is it going to be the emails? Okay? Because based on the polls right now, 4 years ago, and the polling differences right now, the map would look exactly the same. Like and subscribe to my channel. Any comments would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.